Hello everyone, glad to be back. Today is 11th of February, now it's 3:30 middle of the day. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my channel in which I share latest updates on the news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. There is plenty of very significant developments and news that I like to share with you for this moment, but before I start, let me say thank to Alex Cristoforo, host of the Duran channel, great channel. And I have a very good reason to be thankful because yesterday Alex Cristoforo did share link to my previous video on his channel, and once I find out about it, of course I was very happy. I'm very grateful because I take this gesture as a kind of recognition of my little channel and a hand of help to reach wider audience. So thank you very much for this help. And now let's talk about news, and I will start today with Turkey and Syria. TASS news agency is reporting that because of devastating earthquake in Turkey, 20,937 people are dead. Absolutely devastating information. More than 80,000 people are injured, and more than 92,000 people are evacuated from the zone of devastation. When it comes to Syria, in western and northern parts of this country, more than 1,300 people are dead and over 2,000 people are injured. As you know, tens of countries did provide assistance for Turkey as it's supposed to be in these kind of devastating times. But situation is quite different in regard to Syria because even though some countries, including Russia, did provide and providing help and assistance to Turkey and Syria, many countries in the world are afraid to do so because of Western sanctions on Syria. And it seems like for this moment, so-called Western elites don't even think to ease sanctions on Syria. They just don't care. They just don't care. And as I said previously, whole world is watching and seeing one more time that Western elites are main danger to human society as a whole. Main danger. Yesterday in his update, Alex Cristoforo even mentioned that Greece Prime Minister openly said that Athens cannot provide greater help to Syria because of the Western sanctions. So, what else should be said to everyone to know that Western elites truly are enemies of the humans, enemies of the human civilization. And this is not exaggeration. I mean, Western elites truly are enemies of the human civilization. That's a simple fact. Let's continue with news. This is RBK news agency, which is reporting that Zelensky's regime did conduct a drone strike on Belgorod region. Some infrastructure was damaged, but according to this news, no humans were harmed in this strike, which is good, of course, but overall, these attempts from Zelensky's regime to strike deep inside Russia, once again proving my suggestion or my prediction that Zelensky's Nazi regime, will use long-range weapons if they will receive it from the West, as they were promised by US and United Kingdom. If they receive long-range weapons, they will try to conduct strikes deep inside Russia. And once this happens, Moscow will definitely end up in a situation when some truly extreme measures has to be taken. And I'm afraid this kind of step may escalate in a much bigger confrontation. So, Washington and London still have time to reconsider their decision about delivering long-range weapons to Zelensky's Nazi regime. They should withdraw from this conflict if they care about, at least about safety of Western society. But do they care? I have some doubts about it. Let's continue. This is Radio Sputnik, which is reporting that information is from yesterday, but it's very relevant today. So we have here a statement from Denis Pushilin, who is head of DPR, Donetsk People's Republic, and he is saying that Zelensky's regime is conducting evacuation of civilians from Ugledar. Let me show you on the map this region. So Ugledar is here. That's Ugledar, and if information is correct, and Zelensky's regime is evacuating civilians from this city, we may say probably that there is two possible scenarios that we will see in this area. One is that Ukrainian forces will withdraw after civilians will be evacuated, and second is that Ukrainian forces that are still loyal to Zelensky's Nazi regime will try to create from Ugledar some kind of castle and repeat story that so many months are now continuing in Bakhmut. So time will tell, of course, but in general, even though Ukrainian side do have some success in this region, and I did share, for example, videos on my Telegram channel about destruction of a Russian armed column, quite a big armed column in Ugledar area. Despite these local successes that Zelensky's regime has, in general, situation is not in favor of Ukrainian forces. So if expected large-scale Russian offensive will take place in next few weeks, then probably entire this area from Ugledar to Donetsk suburbs, all this area probably will become under full Russian control. When it comes to Donetsk region, and let me first of all mention yesterday's drone and missile strikes that Russian armed forces carry out against logistical infrastructure of Zelensky's regime. About missile strikes is nothing particularly to say. There's many similar missile strikes were carried out before, but there was one difference, quite interesting difference in my opinion, and this is you are now seeing footage of that difference, which is that Russian side used the first time, as I understand, did use underwater drones. to strike a railway bridge in Odessa region. I did share this video on my Telegram channel, and if you want to see more updates every day, you can subscribe to my Telegram channel. You will see link in description, and I do share many posts during the day and many news, so you may find it useful. So, and there was one more interesting moment in yesterday's strikes. Russian side did strike Iceland, Zmini Iceland. Probably you remember Zmini Iceland. There was quite a big deal in media around this Iceland. And yesterday, Russian Air Forces conduct bombing raid on this lonely Iceland, and even Rebar channel is suggesting that making suggestion that activization of Russian side in direction of Odessa may mean that in near future Russian armed forces may become more active in this area. So time will tell. I was just surprised that Zelensky's regime had some militaries on this island, because in my understanding, island was empty. It seems like I was mistaken, because why should Russia strike then this island if nobody is there? So okay, let's continue. And next news is that this is RIA Novosti news agency, and we have here information that Kiev Zelensky's regime is reinforcing garrison in Marinka. And let me show you Marinka. This story too continues for this battle for Marinka is continuing for so many months now that it's hard to even believe. But as you can see, this settlement is divided between Russian and Ukrainian side. Almost entire village is in ruins, and Russian side for this moment is unable to establish full control. And one of the reasons probably are those reinforcements that are sent to Marinka almost on a weekly basis. So let's continue with the front line. You can see Bakhmut here. In Bakhmut area, fighting is still fierce fighting are conducted between the sides. Units of PMC Wagner established partial encirclement of operational, basically encirclement around Krasnaya Gora and this town Paraskovievka, and some heavy fighting are going on there. Yesterday I did read information that Russian side did find out about foreign mercenaries that are based in Krasnaya Gora, and if it's true, then once this settlement will become under full Russian control, we may learn that many Westerners that were talking in English, probably they had they did listen to radio that those mercenaries were using. So we may find out that more US and British citizens were killed in action. So as you can see, this highway H32, which is from Bakhmut to Konstantinovka, is also under fire control. But in general, I mean, even though Russian side has some success, in general, it seems like we are having some kind of stalemate, at least for now, and maybe this will continue until large-scale Russian offensive operation. It will even take place because so many information about this large-scale Russian offensive that it's hard to believe anything really. Some are saying that Russians will try to conduct offensive in direction of Kharkov. Some are saying that offensive will start in direction of Sumy. Some say that Zaporozhye region will be direction of Russian offensive. I mean, no one really knows except few people that are in Kremlin or in Russian general staff. So we will see. We will see. But for this moment, my reading of this picture is that some kind of after quite successful offensive operations that Russian side did conduct in previous weeks, we are reaching some kind of stalemate again. Let's continue with news. This is TASS news agency, and here one of Russian officials from Zaporozhye region, Vladimir Rogov, is saying that there are many thousands of foreigners that want to fight on the Russian side, not just from former Soviet republics and Middle East, Africa, or Latin America, but from Western states too. And motivation for those that are from Western states is that they want to protect traditional values, and they see Russia as a last stronghold of traditional values. But to be honest, I don't even know if there is some legislation that will allow in place that will allow foreigners to fight on Russian side. Maybe there is some, but I have some doubts about it. But it's nice to know that not just world outside of Western countries are supporting Russia, but even in Western states, many citizens are supporting Russia and realizing that Russia is in right side of history. Let's continue. This is Regnum News Agency, and we have a statement from Russian Parliament here. Leonid Slutsky, who is head of Foreign Relations Committee in Russian State Duma, said that Pentagon is openly involved in conflict in Ukraine because there was no dismissal from Washington statements that was made in Ukraine about use of HIMARS guided missiles. As you know, yesterday many newspapers wrote about those HIMARS strikes that was conducted by Ukrainians only after they receive information about location of Russian forces or information about targeting locations from the US military, which basically means that if US are providing database and providing location data to Ukrainian side. That of course means that US is openly involved in this conflict. But and we all know this. This is not surprise. But once these kind of statements are made from high-ranking officials, then some actions should be taken. But as we can see, for now, Western elites have all reasons to pray for Putin and his people, because they are doing basically nothing against Western elites. Just nothing. That's how I see this picture. Because yet again, if I was Russian president, I will make sure that those Western elites will pay very heavy price for involvement in this conflict. But Putin, for some strange reasons, is very, how should I say it, very soft on West and Western elites. And I don't like it. I don't like it. No one does, probably, and most of the society in Russia probably will agree with me that Putin is too soft on Western elites, which is damaging Russia and Russian interests. But, let's continue. This is RIA Novosti reporting that NATO aeroplanes of NATO member states were controlling area in the summertime, when Russian gas pipelines were blew up, Nord Stream pipelines were blew up. And this information is coming from Flight Radar 24. And to be honest, we knew it. This is not new information. We did know about it straight away. And yet again, everything is saying that US was involved in this terroristic attack, in this act of war against Russia, basically. This is act of war, what they did. And I don't have reason to don't trust journalistic inquiry of US journalist Hirsch, who published his material about US and Norway involvement in this attack on gas pipelines. But yet again, Russian side did nothing about it, and probably will do nothing about it. At least as long as Putin and his people are in power, I have some doubts that they will ever do anything against Western elites. And I have my, I may know why they are so soft or I may have some ideas why they are so soft on Western elites, but I'm not sure it's safe enough to talk about it openly. Maybe we'll learn about it sometime in future. This is Regnum News Agency again, and we have a rare statement from German Foreign Minister. Rare statement which can be counted as an adequate one. And this time, Annalena Baerbock said that Germany is not considering and not even discussing sending jet planes to Ukraine, to Zelensky's Nazi regime. And Of course, I don't trust single word that this individual is saying, but probably someone did talk to her and explain to her that she is too big an embarrassment for Germany, and she should start making statements that are at least partially adequate, even if no one will believe her words. But do anyone respect this person? I mean, truly, you know, I don't know how you can respect this kind of animal, man. I mean, come on. Or how you can respect any animal from Western elites, really? I mean, what kind of human you have to be to have some respect for Western so-called elites? Those mass murderers, you know? It's impossible, you know? This is TASS News Agency. This is TASS News Agency, and we have information here. White House official is saying that Russian decision to lower its oil production by 500,000 barrels a day is a result of a price cap that Western states put on Russian oil. And in this case, that's the case. Russian side did. Yesterday we had statements from Novak, Vice Prime Minister of Russian, or Deputy Prime Minister, who said that Russia will reduce oil production but don't sell oil to any country or any party that will even mention price cap in contract. And in my understanding, 500,000 barrels a day is significant. But, for example, 2 million barrels a day will be much better. It may harm Russian oil fields because once you shut down those skvazhina, how you say it in English? Let me translate it. Well, oil well. Yeah, oil well. Once you shut down those oil wells, it's very difficult to reopen, or maybe even impossible. But it's a matter of principles. It's a matter of principles. Russia can truly damage Western economy if it will cut down oil production truly significantly, because prices of energy prices will skyrocket all around the world, and including in Western world, and that may give some more reason to Western societies to become more proactive and do something about elites that they have. So this is Kommersant newspaper, and we have information here that head of Russian Central Bank, Nabiullina, stated that Russian economy will rise this year, and Russian economy will gain more momentum in the next year. This prediction from Russian Central Bank comes after WTO made similar predictions. So it's not truly a surprise, but it shows that at least in some terms, Russian economical bloc is taking in account conservative estimates, and that may be good because it's better to be cautious. It's better to be cautious. Let's continue, and let me check how long this video is. Oh, it's already 30 minutes. Okay, 2 more news and that's it. For God's sake, I find it very difficult to, because of some technical issues, I find it difficult to make these videos. But I will deal with it. And from next week probably content will become much better in terms of quality. But let's talk about these 2 news, and that's it for today. We have information from TASS news agency that presidents of US and Brazil stated that they are in support of changes in UN Security Council, so that new members will be, new permanent members will be introduced to this institution. And in one terms, of course, this is not bad, really. Even though UN is a product of Second World War, and permanent members, except France, are winners of that war. States that play a crucial role in defeating Nazi Germany. I don't really understand why France is in this between permanent members of UN, because France did not defeat nobody, but France was liberated. But when it comes to changes in permanent, in this institution of permanent members, to be honest, I see this as a trap. Even Russia does sometimes. Russian officials are saying that okay, it's maybe done or something like that. But I see this as a trap from Western elites, because they are buying up elites all over the world, and they are trying to corrupt all countries, corrupt all elites, so that they can control over them. And if this institution of permanent members will become bigger, and if Western elites will have control over the new members, I'm quite sure they will then try to introduce voting, decision making by majority of votes. Now this institution has any meaning because of veto, because all permanent members can use veto. But if they will start changing this institution, it will don't stop only on bringing in more members. Then they will do like in EU want, what like Brussels wants, to make decisions based on majority. And Russia don't need this, in my understanding. And yet again, if I was Russian president, I will give orders to foreign ministry to work on a foundation of alternative international organization in which there will be no Western states whatsoever, as long as mass murderers are in elites of West. That's what world needs, really. We need to isolate Western world, Western states, because they are danger. They are being in danger to all of us. UN is a dead organization. It just don't means nothing no more. Truly, because how many wars did US conduct without UN permission? So what is the point to keep these bureaucrats in New York? So that's my take on this. So what world really needs, majority at least of human civilization right now, is to isolate Western elites and to isolate Western states, so that rest of us can live in peace, at least try. And this is gonna be last news for now. Kommersant newspaper is reporting that some more secret classified documents were found in a mansion of Trump, former US president, and in the house of former Vice President Pence. And to be honest, I don't really care about US classified documents, but what the hell is going on there? Just question. How they are conducting themselves, those high-ranking officials. I mean, if it's classified information, it should be some, I don't know, man, some rules how you approach this information. But these guys, man, they don't care. It seems like, that's a level of degradation of the US elites, man. Just look at it, man. Biden is leaving classified information in garage. These ones are, leaving classified information in the mansions and the houses, and it's just it's wrong. It's what the hell is going on? Why they even allowed to take anything from White House, for example, or from office? Strange, very strange, but as I said, I don't really care. It just shows you level of degradation that US is experiencing as a state, and US institutions. Because president of USA is not just names, man. It's not just Trump or Biden or Obama, that mass murderer. Mass murderer who received Nobel Prize for peace. Can you imagine how much is how much is devaluated all those Western institutions that a long time ago had some respect. Obama has a Nobel Prize for peace. Mass murderer. It's crazy though. Okay, this is it for now. I hope you find this video interesting. As I said, I do have some technical issues for this moment, but I will deal with it. And from next week, my videos probably become more in better quality. I hope so, at least. So if you find this video interesting, please hit that like button, leave some commentary about any topic you like, and if you can, share links to my videos with your friends on Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, or any other platform that you are active on. That will greatly increase my chances to reach wide audience, and I will be very thankful for that. So that's it. Have a nice day, have a nice weekend, and take care.